The door slammed behind me like a gunshot in the dead of night, echoing through the empty hallway of my childhood home. My hands trembled as I gripped the steering wheel of my beat-up sedan, the engine rumbling to life with a guttural cough that mirrored the bile rising in my throat. "You've saved enough," my father's voice replayed in my head, his words slithering like venom. "It's time you helped the family." And when I said no, God, when I finally said no, their faces twisted into masks of betrayal, as if I were the one stabbing them in the back. Rain pelted the windshield in furious sheets, blurring the streetlights into smeared halos, and I floored the accelerator, tires screeching on wet asphalt. My chest heaved with sobs I couldn't suppress, hot tears mixing with the sweat beading on my forehead. How dare they? After everything I'd given up, years of scraping by, burying dreams under student loans and dead-end jobs, just to keep them afloat. The betrayal burned like acid in my veins, igniting a fury I'd never known. I wanted to scream, to shatter something, anything. But deep down, beneath the rage, a colder whisper took root. This isn't over. I pulled into the parking lot of my tiny apartment complex, the wipers swishing rhythmically like a mocking metronome. The building loomed under the storm clouds, its faded brick facade slick and glistening, the faint hum of neon from the corner liquor store casting erratic shadows. My keys jangled in my shaking hand as I fumbled with the lock, the metal cold and unforgiving against my palm. Inside, the air was stale, thick with the scent of leftover takeout and unwashed laundry. I collapsed onto the sagging couch, the fabric rough against my skin, and buried my face in my hands. The family meeting, what a joke. It wasn't a meeting, it was an ambush. Mom with her tear-streaked cheeks, Dad's stern jaw set like granite, and my sister Lena, hovering in the background with that smug, expectant smile. They'd laid it all out. The house was underwater, Dad's business crumbling under bad investments, Lena's art career, draining what little was left. And me. The reliable one. The one who'd clawed my way to a modest savings account through sheer grit. Just a loan, they'd said. Family helps family. But I knew better. It wasn't a loan. It was a handout, another black hole to swallow my future. My mind raced, denial crashing over me like waves. This couldn't be real. We'd always been close, or so I thought. Flashbacks assaulted me. Christmases with laughter echoing off the walls, the smell of Mom's cinnamon rolls wafting from the kitchen, Dad teaching me to ride a bike on cracked sidewalks. But those memories soured now, tainted by the truth I'd ignored for too long. I'd been the fixer, the one who bailed Lena out of her endless phases. The failed boutique, the pyramid scheme disguised as wellness coaching. And my parents. Enablers, always whispering that I was the strong one, the responsible one. Resentment coiled in my gut, tight and unrelenting. How many nights had I lain awake, fantasizing about escape? A life unburdened, where my savings bought me freedom. A trip abroad, a down payment on a house of my own. Now they wanted to strip that away, guilting me into submission. I paced the room, the floorboards creaking under my feet, each step amplifying the thunder in my ears. Heartbreak mingled with the anger, a sharp ache that made my breath hitch. They were my family. Blood. And yet, in that dining room with its faded floral wallpaper and the ticking grandfather clock, they'd looked at me like a stranger, an obstacle. "You're being selfish, Alex," Mom had whimpered, her voice cracking like fragile glass. "After all we've done for you. Done for me." The words ignited a spark of obsession. I grabbed my phone, scrolling through old texts, Lena's pleas for just a little help, Dad's curt demands for bill payments. Humiliation washed over me. I'd been their ATM, nothing more. That night sleep evaded me. I tossed on the lumpy mattress, the sheets twisting around my legs like restraints. In the darkness, fantasies bloomed, storming back, smashing their precious heirlooms, exposing their secrets to the world. But doubt crept in, insidious and whispering. Was I the monster here? Family was supposed to stick together. Guilt gnawed at me. Guilt for saying no, for the hurt in Mom's eyes. Yet, beneath it, a cold resolve hardened. They hadn't just asked. They'd demanded, as if my life was theirs to claim. By dawn, the storm had cleared, leaving puddles that reflected a pale, indifferent sky. I stared at my reflection in the bathroom mirror, eyes bloodshot, jaw clenched. Planning began subtly, in the quiet corners of my mind. What if I didn't just walk away? What if I made them feel the sting of betrayal? Work the next day was a blur. The office buzzed with fluorescent lights humming overhead, the clack of keyboards a monotonous drone. I sat at my desk, surrounded by stacks of reports, the scent of stale coffee permeating the air. My boss, Mr. Harlan, droned on in a meeting, but my thoughts drifted. Lena's latest scheme, a wellness retreat that screamed scam. I'd overheard her bragging about it at family dinners, her voice lilting with false enthusiasm. What if I dug deeper, exposed the fraud? The idea thrilled and terrified me. Moral conflict twisted inside. Revenge would make me no better than them. But justice? That word tasted sweet. I started small, strategic. After work, I drove to a dingy internet cafe on the outskirts of town, the kind with flickering screens and the faint odor of cigarette smoke clinging to the walls. Hunched over a keyboard sticky from years of use, I searched Lena's social media under an anonymous account. Posts of crystal grids and essential oils, promises of financial freedom through spiritual alignment. Comments gushed praise, but buried beneath were whispers of discontent, refunds demanded, accusations of pyramid tactics. My pulse quickened, fingers flying as I compiled screenshots. This wasn't rage-fueled impulse. It was calculated, a slow burn building toward something inevitable. Dinner that evening was solitary, a microwaved meal eaten standing over the sink, the plastic fork bending under pressure. My phone buzzed. Mum. Alex, please call. We need to talk. I let it go to voicemail, her voice tinny and pleading through the speaker. Suppressed rage simmered. I wanted to hurl the phone against the wall. Instead, I listened, her words fueling the fire. We're family, honey. Don't turn your back on us. Too late, I thought. You've turned on me. Days blurred into a haze of quiet preparation. I feigned normalcy in texts, short, non-committal replies to keep them off guard. Inner turmoil raged. Fantasies of confrontation warred with fear of irreversible damage. What if revenge destroyed me too? But resentment won out, a constant companion. I visited the family home under pretense of reconciliation, the driveway gravel crunching under my tires like bones. Inside, the air was heavy with the aroma of pot roast, a deliberate ploy to evoke nostalgia. Dad sat in his armchair, newspaper crinkling, his eyes narrowing as I entered. Decided to come around, he grunted, voice gravelly from years of smoking. Not exactly, I replied, forcing a smile that didn't reach my eyes. Lena lounged on the couch, scrolling her phone, her manicured nails tapping rhythmically. Mom bustled from the kitchen, apron dusted with flour, her hug too tight, too desperate. Dialogue flowed, natural yet laced with tension. We didn't mean to pressure you, Mom said, setting plates with a clatter. But times are tough. Tough for everyone, I countered, voice steady despite the storm inside. Lena chimed in, her tone saccharine. Alex, you're doing so well. Just think of it as investing in us. Suppressed rage boiled. I nodded, biding time. Subtle hints emerged, my eyes lingering on Dad's locked desk drawer, where financial papers hid. Later, alone in the bathroom, I rifled through cabinets, finding receipts that confirmed my suspicions. Extravagant spending while pleading poverty. Leaving that night, the porch light cast long shadows, the cool breeze carrying the scent of impending rain. Obsession gripped me. I couldn't stop. Back home, I pored over documents I'd snapped photos of, the glow of my laptop screen illuminating my face in the dim room. Heartbreak resurfaced. How had it come to this? But cold resolve pushed forward. The plan crystallized. Expose their lies not just to me but to everyone. Friends, extended family, even authorities if needed. Guilt flickered. Lena had her dreams, flawed as they were. Dad's pride, Mom's denial. They weren't villains. They were human, flawed and desperate. Yet their betrayal justified mine. Suspense built in the quiet moments. An anonymous tip to a consumer watchdog about Lena's scheme. A leaked email chain revealing Dad's shady investments. I watched from afar, heart pounding, as ripples formed. Lena's posts grew defensive, comments turning hostile. Dad called, voice thunderous. What the hell is going on? I feigned ignorance, tension coiling like a spring. By week's end, doubt assailed me. In the mirror I saw a stranger, eyes hollow, resolve cracking. Was this justice or madness? But the hook of betrayal pulled me under, the slow burn igniting into flame. The anonymous email bounced back undeliverable, a small glitch in my meticulously laid plan, but it sent a jolt of fear through me like electricity. I sat in my car outside the coffee shop, the engine idling with a low growl, steam from my untouched latte fogging the windows. Rain drummed on the roof again, relentless, as if the weather conspired to mirror my turmoil. Had they traced it? Paranoia crept in, layering over the resentment that had become my anchor. I imagined Dad's face, reddening with fury as he pieced together the sabotage leaked documents, whispered rumors spreading like wildfire through our small town. Lena's retreat was crumbling. I'd seen the cancellation emails in her hacked account, a risky move, but desperation breeds boldness. Guilt gnawed deeper now, a constant ache, but obsession propelled me. This was poetic justice, I told myself, wiping sweat from my brow. They took from me, now I'd take everything. Inner conflict raged as I drove home, the wipers slashing through the downpour. Fantasies shifted from destruction to doubt. What if I stopped? Forgave. But no, the humiliation of that family meeting replayed endlessly. Their expectant eyes, the unspoken demand that my life subsidize theirs. Heartbreak twisted like a knife. They were supposed to protect me, not prey on me. Moral grayness enveloped everything. I wasn't innocent anymore. Hacking leaking, it crossed lines. Yet cold resolve hardened. They started this war. At home, the apartment felt smaller, walls closing in with the scent of dampness from the leaking roof. I paced, floorboards groaning, planning the next strike. A confrontation face to face, where truths would erupt, but subtly lure them with false hope. I texted Mom. Let's talk. Dinner tomorrow. Her reply was swift, eager. Yes. We'll make your favorite. Manipulation on both sides now, heightening the suspense. The next evening I arrived early, the house glowing warmly against the twilight, porch light flickering like a beacon of false security. Inside, aromas of garlic and herbs wafted, but the atmosphere crackled with unspoken tension. Dad greeted me gruffly, handshake firm but eyes wary. Lena was there, unusually subdued, her usual vibrancy dimmed, perhaps sensing the storm. Mom's hug lingered, her whisper desperate. I'm so glad you're here. Dinner unfolded like a scripted drama, dialogue natural yet laced with undercurrents. Business picking up? I asked Dad casually, fork scraping porcelain. He grunted, avoiding my gaze. Challenges, but we'll manage. Lena interjected, voice forced cheerful. My retreat's got some hiccups, but nothing major. Suppressed rage simmered in me. I knew the hiccups. Refunds demanded, investigations looming from my tips. As plates cleared, tension built. Mom's hands trembled pouring coffee, steam rising like ghosts. Alex, she began, voice soft. About the money. I cut in, tone even but edged. I've thought about it. Their eyes lit, hopeful, greedy. Inner thoughts swirled. This was the moment, the pivot to retaliation. But first, tell me, why hide the vacations? The luxury purchases while claiming broke. Silence descended, thick and suffocating. Dad's face paled, newspaper forgotten. Lena's phone slipped from her hand, clattering. What are you talking about? Mom whispered, but her eyes betrayed knowledge. I know everything, I said, voice rising, raw emotion breaking through. Anger, humiliation poured out. The receipts, the schemes. You betrayed me, your own son. Dialogue escalated, revealing secrets. Dad exploded. You think life's fair? I built this family. But cracks showed. His investments weren't bad luck. They were gambles, reckless. Lena confessed tearfully. I just wanted to succeed. Manipulation unveiled. They'd planned the meeting knowing I'd cave, counting on guilt. Suspense peaked as I revealed evidence. Printouts slapped on the table, photos of extravagant bills. Heartbreak surged. Mom's sobs echoed genuine pain. We love you, she pleaded. Do you? I shot back, resentment boiling. Obsession took hold, I pressed on, exposing more. But doubt flickered. Their faces, broken, mirrored my own fracture. The twist came swift, shocking. As rage crested, Lena lunged for the papers, but Dad stopped her, voice defeated. Enough. He's right. Confession tumbled. Years ago they'd discovered my birth was an accident, but chose to keep me. Yet resentment festered, manifesting in entitlement. But deeper. Mom revealed a hidden trust fund, set aside for me by a deceased uncle, which they'd dipped into secretly. We meant to pay it back, she whispered. Fury blinded me. This wasn't just betrayal. It was theft of my inheritance. Cold resolve snapped. I'd sue, expose publicly. But as I stormed out, a car pulled up. Police, tipped off anonymously. By Lena? No, wait. In the chaos I realized. The anonymous tip I'd sent about Dad's fraud had looped back, investigators arriving now. Outside, rain resumed, sirens wailing distantly. Poetic justice. Or unintended consequences. They were arrested for embezzlement, the trust fund exposed. But victory tasted bitter. Guilt consumed me. I destroyed them, but at what cost? In the rear view, the house receded, a shell of what was. Revenge complete, yet heartbreak lingered. Family shattered irreparably. The pursuit ended, but obsession's shadow remained, a cold companion in the night.